means that I help people who are building a purpose-driven brand to attract their ideal customers that will absolutely crave their brand and keep them coming back for more. And so each week we come on here and we talk about branding and marketing, and we talk about ways to grow your business and how to build a brand that is built and rooted in your purpose and that is designed around a purpose for your brand that is aligned with how you want to live your life too. So that's what we do each week. That's what we do right around here. So, and we're here every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So tonight we are talking about, are you good for your rent? Now, what do I mean by that? I know you guys probably saw that and you were like, what? What do you mean by your rent? No, I'm not talking about your apartment rent. We are talking about your rent on this planet. So a quote that I shared this week in honor of Veterans Day is by Shirley Chisholm, and she said that service to others is the rent that we pay for our room here on earth. And I love that quote because she's basically saying that that's something that we all have to do. We all have to serve others just to have a place here on earth. That's the price we pay just for being here. And so I really believe that. And our servicemen and women, they serve for our country. They serve for us to have the freedoms that we have. But we all have to do our part too. We all have to serve in some capacity, and that might be just volunteering somewhere. That might be just serving at your kid's school or through your place of worship or your church or something like that. But in our businesses, we have to serve our customers, and that should be our primary focus. And so that's what we want to talk about today, because we have to make it really clear to our customers how it is that we serve them. We have to do that in a way that they know immediately what it is that we do to serve them, and that they are our target customer, that we're speaking directly to them, and that what we offer them is going to help them. And are we good for it? What is it that we're promising them, and are we going to deliver on it? And so the way that we do that is through our brand promise. All right? And so I am going to walk you through how you create your brand promise, and why do you even need to have a brand promise. So this is going to be a good one, because this is something that you can use to make it really clear how you're going to serve your customers. You can use this in any of your conversations when you're talking about what it is that you do. You can use this on your website. You can use this as you are introducing yourself to people, whether that be face-to-face or whether that be virtually like we're doing right now. You can use it on your business cards. You can use it on your marketing collateral, anywhere. You can use it as your tagline, but this is something that you will use over and over again. But it's very important for your business, and you want it to be something that that is very clear, so that your customers don't have to do a lot of work to figure out how you're going to deliver for them, how you're going to show up for them. So go ahead and share this out, because this is going to be something that will really help you as far as just being really clear about what it is that you do and how you serve your customers. Okay, so and I have a tool for you that you can download that will help you to create your own brand promise and give you some ideas, some inspiration from some of the biggest brands in the world from their own brand promises. And so I will give you and you can download that at nikkibradley.net/promise. All right, so the 5 C's of crafting a perfect brand promise. So we talked about why you need to have one. Now let's talk about how you actually create your brand promise. So the first thing is your brand promise should serve as a compass for you. So we know that we use a compass when you are navigating, when you're trying to get from point A to points. I was about to say point C. We skipped one. Point B. I could have said point Z, but then that that takes you a long way. We want to get to the next point, point B. All right, so point A to point B. And you want to get there as quickly as possible, but your brand promise should be a guide for your company and your decisions. So whether you are a one-person show or whether you have a team of people, your brand promise should be something that helps you with how you really run your business. So things like your hiring decisions, your values, it should be based on your values. It should really be the guardrails around your business. So for instance, if your business is, let's say that you are a faith-based business, and some people are afraid of putting that out there, that they have that part of their values as a business, or that it's rooted in their faith. But that might be actually attracting just the exact type of customers that you want to work with. So you don't have to do that, but if that is something that you feel strongly about, then just consider that, because you might actually be attracting, you might be missing out on customers that really want to work with you if that's something that they're interested in. They might be looking for people that have the same faith that they do. So let's say that is one of the values that you have, or maybe let's even say that you are a business that is rooted in family values. Then you might want to be looking at hiring people that also believe in putting family first. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have children of their own, but you might want to make sure that is something that they care about as well. Also, you want to make sure that you're very clear about what you stand for. And some people are afraid to do that, and we've seen, some companies that have done well with putting out what they stand for, and some that have faltered a little bit. And sometimes when companies do put out what they stand for, it can be controversial. But you want to attract or repel your ideal customer. And sometimes you might say something or put something out that will make people not want to do business with you, but you really want. But in some cases, you'll actually attract more of the customers that you want to do business with by taking a stand. And right now, millennials are the biggest buying group that there is, and studies have shown that they are looking for companies that take a stand on values, that show what their values are and what they're all about. So keep that in mind. Second, number 2, your brand promise should be compelling. So when I say compelling, it should be something that is going to make them want to take interest and take action. So it's got to do both of those things. It's got to make them perk up and want to hear more, and it's got to make them actually do something after they hear what your brand promise is. So that is very important, because it's one thing for them to be like, oh, that sounds cool, but if they don't actually do anything after that, that doesn't help your business, because we're all in the business of trying to get customers or create sales. Even if it's not an immediate sale, you want them to take a next step with you. And so you want to make sure that your brand promise is something that's going to inspire them to take action. Maybe it's just follow you, but you want them to actually do something after the fact. Okay, number 3, it should be customer-centric. So it should be driven by the buyer's need, not yours. It's not about you, it's about them. This is that whole serving part. So it's all about serving your customers. So you want to make sure that that you're focused on what it is that they need in your brand promise. Your brand promise should be able to tell them immediately how it is that you're going to serve them, okay? And how you're going to get them to the result that they're looking for, how you're going to solve their problem. Number 4, it should be cohesive. So it should fit your brand. So if your brand is all about, let's say, health and nutrition and fitness, then you probably would not want to have some type of brand promise that is not aligned with that. You want to make sure that your brand promise is something that's going to very clearly tell them immediately that you're going to deliver on getting them fitness or health results. One example that I use when I'm talking to people in the wedding industry is, or let's say that you are a designer and you like designing for upscale and urban spaces, then you don't want to have stuff on your website that is showing things that look shabby chic, or like Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper, because she's more of like the country, more you guys know what I mean, like the farmhouse chic. So that's not going to fit your brand. So you want to make sure that whatever you're putting out there that you're promising your customer is going to be aligned with what it is that you do. So they're not confused when they're not trying to figure out what it is that you're going to deliver for them, how you're going to show up for them. Okay, number 5, we made it to the last one. Number 5 is it should be concise. So you need to get to the point as quickly as possible. And it should be easy to remember and repeatable. So when I say easy to remember, they should be able to quickly spit out when let's say you meet somebody at a networking event. When you tell them what it is that you do, it should be quick, and it should be something that, because it's compelling, right? It's going to be something that's memorable. They're going to want to go and introduce you to somebody else and they can, without you saying anything, they're going to remember what it is that you do, so that when they introduce you to that next person, they can say what it is that you do, because it was memorable, and it's something that they can repeat on their own because it was quick and concise and compelling, right? So let's say you introduce yourself, and let's say you are a personal chef, and you say, I'm a personal chef, and I come into your home and make meals that take the burden off of you. So that's easy to remember. That's solving a problem for me. I'm a busy mom. I don't have time to cook all the time. So that's going to be compelling for me. It's going to be easy for me to remember. So when I'm talking to somebody else at that networking event, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's Kim, and she is a personal chef, and she takes the burden off of you, so you don't have to do the cooking yourself. So see, that was easy to remember, it was compelling, and I could repeat it. So that's what you want. You want something that is quick, memorable, and repeatable. Got it? So those are all 5 of the C's for crafting a perfect brand promise. Now, what do you want to do with that brand promise? Remember, we talked about how you want to introduce yourself when you're meeting someone. You might want to use it as a tagline. You might want to use it as on your website. You might want to use it on your marketing materials. So take some time to actually think about what you want to use for your brand promise. It doesn't have to be public. It might just be something that you use internally to be your compass, so that you stay on track with how you want to run your business. So I'm going to give you a couple of brand promises from some major brands, but you can do the downloads, nikkibradley.net/promise, to get all of these, because I've got quite a few of them from some brands that you'll recognize, to give you some inspiration, and also to give you the 5 C's so that you can remember them and work on your own brand promise. And this will take you maybe about 15 minutes. It shouldn't take you long to really just sit down, if you focus, and come up with your own brand promise. And it's, like I said, it should be focused on what it is that you do and how you can show up and deliver for your customers. So here's one. I love Disney. So theirs is creating happiness through magical experiences. And when you think about Disney, does that not ring true? Is that not what we think about with Disney? We think about it's the happiest place on earth, right? When we go to Disneyland or Disney World, and everything is magical there. Like, I always think about the Disney Princess Castle, and you see Tinkerbell, and she does her little ding on top of the castle, and then there's sparkles that come out of it. We think about Mickey Mouse, and he always just makes you happy when you see Mickey Mouse, and all of the things that are associated with Disney. And when you think about it, it's cohesive. It encompasses everything that Disney does. So Disney includes all of their parks, it includes all of their movies, it includes all their merchandise. Everything that is Disney fits within creating happiness through magical experiences. Their retail. So think about that when you're creating your brand promise, that it's something that can encompass your business as it grows. So as you add new products and services, then your brand promise will cover all of those things. Okay? We all know this one. 15 minutes or less can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now that's one that is very public, right? And so even though with the Disney one, you might not know that one, but when you heard it, you were like, yeah, they definitely do that. It might not be something that they publicize, but you can definitely tell that's at the core of their brand. That's a promise that they live by. The Geico one they put out for the public consumption, and that is the promise that they are standing behind, and you know it, right? So like I said, it can be something that you put out there as your tagline, or it can be something that you just decide to run your business by. Okay, so those are just a couple to give you some inspiration. Definitely get that download so that you can use it for your own inspiration and create your own brand promise. And use it, because I promise you it will, I promise you that it will help you so much as far as having a clear message about what you do when you're talking to people, when you're positioning yourself and showing people how you're going to show up for them and how you're going to serve them. So you can be good for it. You can be good for your rent.